All right, check 1 2 1 2. Thank you. Shout out to everyone for coming to the weekly screen share. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was mentioning back pain. I just these two muscles here are just like, 'cause I'm like this all the time on the live stream at the stand up desk, and these back muscles are just like seizing up. And like whenever I go get a massage, the people are like, your back feels like it's got a steel rod through it. It's crazy. Anyway, no stress, all good. God bless everybody here on the weekly screen share. Thank you for jumping on in. First thing I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to be using another computer here. I'm just going to be posting into the token metrics section here. They have a new moonshot section that looks pretty cool that just came out, and I'm going to give you the moonshots. I actually have a few of them in the portfolio, and we know about a few. Dog and Me is one. Based Farcoin, which just came out, which could be pretty big, considering how Farcoin did, which is weird. I can't stand like the same coin on another chain, but it is what it is. All right, and so I'm going to post this to Token Metrics right now. These are the moonshots that they, I wonder if I could try something like where I just put like $100 in every moonshot, and test it. They do something similar too, so you can see kind of what they do. So we'll also do our ratings. I'm going to flip the ratings to bullish. You can't see this right now, so don't stress. I just have it on a different computer, but I'm posting it to the group. Understand? All right, same page. That's why I'm not like looking off. I'm looking off screen here. Conflux back in the radar. Chainlink back at 19. Sweet knocking on that $4 door. Non-playable coin. One of my favorite, something tells me that's a ripper. And to hold on to that puppy. But again, that's just me. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as such. But I like NPC. And that's for like 10, 20x gains. Like these coins could do some serious numbers over time. They still like Pepe. Cubic was on my radar back in the day. Kind of fell off. Wasn't something that, I liked it. QBIC. QUBIC. Qubit. And trending right now, too. The top coins, Mamo on the radar. AIX Vile. AIville. Right? These are $88 million market cap. Liquidity is another coin. 5 tiny market cap. 4 keeps coming up on my radar. That one, FORM, Forum. Let's see here. The Weeks token too actually is coming up on as a searchable item here in Token Metrics. Rect, REKT, Rect coin. Lumbar, LBTC. They still like SPX. Non-playable coin comes up again. Osmosis, Useless. Useless is booming. That market cap's building, 282 million. They're bullish on Caspa here at 10 cents. All right. They're bullish on Pinlink. Remember Pinlink back in the day? Bonk, LM Group. So let's see here. Let me post these. But this is like, this kind of centers there's thousands of coins. So this doesn't give you everything that's hot, but it centers your focus for sure. And so every week I go by this too. It's a good guidance set. Helps us see the market. And then I personally will pick ones that just call my name. I can't explain it. And a lot of times I'm pretty accurate with my intuition when it comes to what coin. I don't know how that works out. That's, beyond science at this point. We don't really know what goes on there with my brain. But I've been speculating for a long time. Like before Bitcoin, I speculated on marijuana stocks, nailed it. I speculated on crypto. Very early I saw that it was going to be big. Now I'm like, crypto's been such a part of my life for now. I haven't speculated anything new. I just keep buying Bitcoin. I'm like, is Bitcoin just the only speculation I need now? Do I never have to speculate again? Kind of seems like I speculated the best speculation. I don't even have to do it ever again. What is speculation? What am I talking about? I started investing, and I was calling myself a trader like everyone else, and I was trading. But I realized that I had a gift far beyond trading, and it was I could see the trends in the world. before they happen, and I could act on them with my money. And if you can see trends before everybody else, you can put a small amount of money in and watch it grow very big because of the trend. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Sam, your trading group paid for the trip to Maine with my wife and kids. It's so awesome, man. Beautiful place to go. And is everyone, someone says frozen? Can't see the screen. Yeah, it's frozen for me. I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not showing the charts. I'm not showing anything. I said this really clearly, but it's late and people can't hear it. If you're in the group, you're basically following along in the token metrics section, and you're watching as token metrics gets posted. Yeah. Yeah, I said numerous times that you won't be seeing the charts. You're right now in the token metric section, highlighting, writing things down. You should not even really be looking at me. You should be in the token metric section right now, waiting for what's posted, and then you should start making a list and start looking and speculating. You know, again, do whatever you want. I can tell you what to do, but that's the basis here of what we're doing. Okay, so get yourself in the group, get into the token metric section, get focused there. I want you focused in there. Right now, this is where we're at, okay? You're not focused on me. You're not looking at the charts. You're not looking at the screen, really. You're deep diving with my boys, and we're going over what coins could blow. These are how we find 10 to 50, 20 X's, okay? Like we can swing trade, and we can do it all over. We can swing left. We can do whatever, but this is, every week we do this due diligence. So we stopped at Peapod, Bobo, MPC to Peapod. They like Deep Book, you know. They like Deep Book too. LMGX is one on the radar. Tagger, TAG. And then you Google them. What are they? Do they have a use case? Like, why is Useless at a $282 million market cap? Why does it have $18 million in volume? In 24 hours, Useless is blowing up. Pythia, which is kind of like Pyth, right? Which gets me going. And so those are like the hottest coins right now that look like they could be moving up in the next week or two. And then we'll also do our dude. I'm not saying those are the only things that can pump. But that's, you know, and I wanted to kind of take care of that right away, right? So that's token metrics. Excellent. Okay. All right. So now we're live back here. Let's take a look at what's happening today in the market. Bitcoin, 117.8, pretty much where it was last night. Flat, completely flat. When Bitcoin stays flat, all coins will pump. Ethereum at $3,700 an ounce, $3,700. Beautiful, 25%. XRP at 348, up 24%. Huge. Solana 180, right? Dogecoin had a pump even last night. They were up 26%. Cardano 15%. We had calls on almost every single coin here. Hyperliquid, we were getting in at 34, 35. Sui, we were getting in at $2, $2.25, even way before that at the beginning. Chainlink have been holding since $11, $12. Bitcoin Cash, Toncoin even up a little bit, 8%. Polkadot, almost every coin getting some love in the last week. ENA up 41%. All right. Ondo back above $1 strength. Very good strength. Caspa wanted that back above 10 cents to hold that double digits, but up 14%. And Render back above $4. So I like it. SEI back above 35. Atom back about $5. These are just these key areas that I look for. Injective above 12. Farcoin held $1 very nicely. I believe this is one of the stronger plays coming up in the next few weeks. Sonic, right? Pancake Swap, strong. We talked about that. That was a setup for there. Aerodrone, strong. Conflux came up right now, right? Pendle, which has a use case and pumps every time. If ETH pumps, DeFi starts to pump. If DeFi pumps, you're looking for anything that flows in. Your EGEN layer, right? Morpho on the radar. Deep Book Protocol, I believe, is going to be a big, big winner here. We started getting into the Deep Book at 3 cents, if you remember correctly, at the beginning of all this. It's still up a 7x from beginning stages, and it did some damage already if you look at its year. Went to a high. Let's see here. Yeah, it's all-time high at 30 cents there, basically 10xing, and now it's still holding beautiful gains. It's one of the stronger projects, and why? Well, you want to understand what it is and what it does. Okay, look, SUI scan XYZ, and you understand that it's attached to SUI. Then you see a SUI address. Okay, now you're starting to understand that it's SUI. The backbone of SUI, DeFi liquidity, setting the bar for liquidity and trading in DeFi. See, I figured this out when I found Cake. All right. So, and Cake made me the most money. I made, or Cake made a lot of people the most money, but Cake went from 60 cents to $44. Okay. Cake did amazing things. And I'm always looking for the next Cake. I'm always like, and you can see here, Deep Book protocol, setting the bar for liquidity and trading in DeFi. And you're like, what does that mean? And you're like, trade now. 90.7 total volume, billion. All right, 12.6 million users. The 24-hour volume is 27 million. And they burn deep from the fees as well. You could trade now on DeepBook with your SUI wallet, a full ecosystem powered by DeepBook. Okay, trading strategies, a DEX, interoperability platform by Axelar, Aftermath Finance, your one-stop DeFi hub on SUI. Aftermath is building an all-in-one platform for trading, investing. I mean, this is basically AI mixed in with DeFi. They even work with Cetus. Cetus is a pioneer DEX and concentrated liquidity protocol built on SUI. It ships products that satisfy the need of traders, right? Turbos, the Hop aggregator, the 70, a pioneering dynamic trading route aggregated on SUI. 7K aggregator designed to optimize your trading strategies. Lotus. And they use Axelar to deliver secure cross-chain communication. That's why I like Axelar too as well. Waxel. So I'm heavy and deep, and it's been taking a long time. I'm not telling you, but we're up, and I'm going to continue to keep the vision for deep, right? And they have a vision too. The future of DeFi is fast, cheap, and efficient. Deep was built from the ground up to power the SUI ecosystem with unparalleled liquidity. From its inception, it's powered developers with reliable, composable, on-chain applications that enabled market makers and liquidity pools to operate seamlessly within the blockchain world. And SUI is awesome, fast. And so why not build on SUI? So DeepBook, if you're not in already, I could get excited. And let me show you what happened here. Cake was, Cake is my case study here. Let's look at Cake all-time high. And this was back when the market was way smaller. But see here, Cake 47 cents comes out, blah, blah, blah. That's on 118 in 2021. Look what it does. Like I hold it. I think I'm going to have to wait, by 222. All right, so 104 at 67 cents. It's about, so in 1 month and 10 days, it goes up more than a 15x. I'm up 15x and, dips a little bit. And then here you are in 4 months, basically, January, February, March, and April. It did over a 40x. I mean, it went to 44. This doesn't always hit. Then it comes down, right? And then if you look at the market cap specifically, it went to a high of 6.6 billion back in 2021. All right. And now what you want to do is you want to look at coin market cap. You want to look at market cap, and you want to look at all, and you want to look back at 2021, right? The crypto market cap it won't even let us go back there. But the point is, you can see that the market cap wasn't even $1 trillion then. It had slipped back below $1 trillion. So my point is this. You have more money in the market. You have a faster ecosystem that can expand. Things are looking interesting. And so DeepBook, if it can mirror anything that Cake did, I could see it getting to the 10, possibly $20 billion market cap. So I believe there's a 10x coming out of here. 6.7 billion is very doable for something that's going to eat up that much liquidity and be a use case. And that's been strong throughout the market. Look at this kind of cup and handle too. So I like DeepBook. It's interesting to me. It will follow SUI's price kind of up and down, but have its own surges here and there. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do whatever makes you happy. But $3.8 million in volume too on XE alone. 2.66 there. It's got good volume. I like the coin. It's interesting. I'm heavy in it. So DeepBook protocol. Just want to kind of start the session with this idea. Remember, There was a time when we just kind of went over Bitcoin because there wasn't a lot of altcoins to be had out here. Let's be honest. So, it's not like we're gonna sit there and chug through altcoins all day long when there's just no reason. The risk, you put your attention where the most money's flowing, not where they want chase attention. Did Litecoin break out last night? Looked like it did. It would, and it did. It hit 119 all the way from 112. Beautiful trade given to the trading group. Shout out to anyone that did jump on into Litecoin. We could see that it was about to pump. There was something brewing last night. We got the move to the upside. Congratulations. I was up late doing damage, doing what I do, looking for hotness. It was 11 p.m. last night. I readjusted that Litecoin chart. That thing blasted to the upside. It was trending on Twitter. Like, it was pretty simple, and it was in a bull flag. Like, those two things are kind of gimmies at this point, Could it break out of this flag? There's a chance. It seems to be trending to the upside. You do want to look at your bigger time frames, but, man, I'm watching 124, 125 area here, and it suggests that Litecoin could make its way on up. It's in a nice trend on that 5-minute time frame. Bang. Something else, ETH looked good on the 5-minute last night. ETH looked like it was about to bang to the upside. Bang. Let's take a look at the 5-minute for Ethereum. I am on the 5. Wait, what time frame did I use? Yeah. Here's my, here we go. Here's the trade right here given last night by Ethereum. I gave this trade last night at 9:03 p.m. Absolutely beautiful trade. That makes money, right? You get in there, you wake up to gains. On a Sunday morning, too. Absolutely ripping. So Ethereum, and I see it headed to $3,800 an ounce. We've been calling all this spot on and even giving you small scalp trades in between. This trade can be brought to break even at this point or been taking profits. Congratulations to anyone that took these trades. They hit perfectly. I didn't post a lot last night. I posted ETH and Litecoin, and they hit. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not overwhelming you. I'm giving you where the attention should hit, and that's hot right there. Right? You believe we have thousands of people in the group, 111 people here. I know it's Sunday. I know it's early, and it's off, but, I feel bad because I feel people that need more, they want to make more money, they want to expand their life, but they won't work as hard as me. They won't show up as much as I do. They won't work as hard as me. Maybe they're at work at church, too. It is a morning where a lot of people are at church. I'll give them that. So it is Sunday morning. People probably, I bet you some people were mad at me right now because I'm live streaming during church. Someone's always upset with me. I've learned that. It's kind of like once you have a big base of people watching you, someone's going to think that something you did is all. And so what I do is I just keep going because tomorrow will be another day and I'll keep moving. So will you, and we'll make it through. So big movements here. Altcoins ripping. Bitcoin goes sideways all night. On the weekend, we have altcoin weekends. So beautiful move here for Ethereum and Litecoin. Posted last night. Congratulations if you jumped on in. Perfect time when in EU. Yeah. No guilt. Yeah. Good trades last night. Yep. Hope your back heals fast. Thank you, man. Yeah, DJI, I told you, was sending. DJI 6930 was sending. And I don't know, don't believe me, $61 million market cap. That thing was gone. And we gave it to you down here now, up 200% gains, basically. And I gave it to you back down here when it first broke out of the initial ascending triangle. That's a 12x right now, basically, since when I gave it. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. And then I found it at $660,000 market cap. This thing is already up over a 70x. This thing may be the 100xer. I can't believe I found a 100x coin. It's just, potential. And all it has to do is go to it just has to go to like $80 million market cap to 100x. I found it at a $666,000 market cap. So we take 80 million, right? We divide that by 66600. You're getting 120x. I mean, it has to go it basically almost did 100x. Let's take a look at it now. I mean, 61 million Oh, yeah, at 66 million, it'll be 100x. I just did the math because that's the 10. So with the 5 left over, I mean, you're at like an 89x or something like that. It's almost at 62, right? I'm shortchanging it there, but rounding down on it. Yeah, it's about to do 100x. That's insane. 100x? Like that fast? I find that absolutely fascinating. So there's so much potential out here. And that's just paying attention to YouTube, watching the market, staying true. Somehow, some way, I find these gains. And everyone's going to look like, how? Man, shout out to anyone that believed in DJI 6930. I must have put it out so many times to the group. And this is why being in a trading group, like you're not going to find DJI 6930. Like it's going to be harder for you. I do this all day long. And I still, only found a couple of these. Think about it. It's like fishing. You got to be out there fishing constantly. Like, and a lot of people, if you have a full-time job, but look, here I am yesterday posting it. Here I am yesterday again for the win, up 130%, showing you the gain there. Ripping, broke out, right? I gave this setup beautifully, peeking out, showed you, basically played it the whole way. Then we talked about it bouncing off the 618786 right there. That occurred. Look at how the TA played out on this thing too, right? DJI 6930 77. Back there at a penny. It's a penny right there. That was when I initially gave the trade too. There, 004. I mean, craziness. So DJI 6930, crazy. I think I posted it even more here. Yeah. 717, let me see. Yeah, the initial setup right here at 7.2 at 004. I mean, and every one of these, not one of these hit the stop loss. You could have swung traded, yeah, whatever you wanted. But if I just focused on this one coin alone, it would have been worth the trading group 99. But we do this weekly screen share. We give Bitcoin calls constantly. We gave those 2 calls last night, Ethereum and Litecoin. I just feel like there's no reason why this group does not cover its use case for $99 a month. I've been in tons of groups. I've watched the internet. I decided to build a product that I just did was unreplicatable, right? This is crazy what's happening. There will be a pullback just like there always is. But wow, I mean, this thing is just powering through, and you could see its next big move could take it to 8 cents, 10 cents, and do a $100 million market cap. It's gone. It's gone. Wow. Follow me at CryptoLifer33. I think you'll really like it. Be a lot of good information coming your way. For instance, like you might be stacking tickets for 1,200. This is just shows you what, but this is a pinned comment here. Just on BTCC shows you what you can get if you trade on BTCC and, what the givebacks are there. Minotaur. But also here, a good trader doesn't predict, right? They prepare. Just kind of you're in profit. The chart goes sideways. You secure the win, move the stop loss, let it ride, and then right here, why you keep buying tops and how to stop it. This is a great, great, great article. Like these things are not just here to entertain. Like this is really good information. Okay. And it kind of teaches you kind of what maybe you be doing, what you're looking for. And this shows my whole kind of style kind of brought into. Gives you clear examples, the better trade, the retest, not reading this stuff, so much information. So make sure you're following me on X.com because we're really pushing the veil here of the information we're providing, and we're doing it in a great way. And if you're missing out on that, it's just, I believe, it's like basically like reading Trading in the Zone. It's like a chapter almost every other day about trading in your life, so. Exactly. We don't jump into candles. We're already set up before the pump. Last night we set up, we watch the pump, we sell the pump. Litecoin, Ethereum, we go from there. Okay. I see Ethereum continuing for the day. Like I don't see it stopping. So it looks like it's going to consolidate yet again. Make a bit of a flag and pump to that target. About $3,800, and then we'll go from there. Let's take a look at BTC. Getting a little pump. Last night we talked about this being a complex inverted head and shoulder that could break out. kind of did its thing, and eventually it's higher than it was before. And it does look kind of like it's rounding itself out of here in a way. So let's remove the moving averages, double click on price action, get rid of this, go to the weekly. So tonight we have the weekly candle close, as we know. Looks like it's going to close bearish, right? If that closes red, I mean, that's a bearish close. So that will close bearish no matter, unless you never know. There could be a huge pump today, and this could flip green. I'm open-minded. Sundays happen. We've been having amazing pumps on Sundays. 5-day chart did close the tweezer, though. It's done that before, though, and consolidated, so we're looking for consolidation. I will slap on the moving averages now. That 21 is curving up. And to me, it just looks like we're going to have some type of just, little pullback here. 116, 115,000, no big deal. We liquidate those longs. We get ready for our next move. The 99 is changing all our lives for sure, man. Still in your XLM trade, bro. God bless you, man. Yeah. Here, even though my mom passed away on Thursday, I hear you talk about your pain, Sammy. I feel the same right now. Shout out to Sandra, R.I.P., my lovely mother. Yo, I'm so sorry to hear that. Moms are angels, man. Yeah, I cried a lot for my mom this week. Moment of silence for your mother. Wow. I feel your pain, man. I'm going to be grateful for the passing of my mom because I have compassion for others that, like before when someone's mom died, I could be like, oh, well, that's tough. But like now I can look you in the face and say, I know how you feel. And I do. Sorry, everybody. People go through tough times. So the 5-day chart, looking nice, like we could consolidate. And we might even be consolidating in an uptrend because of the way how bubbly Bitcoin is. So don't be all down and out here. This looks pretty good. We could consolidate like this and pump. I'm not ruling that out at all. 3-day chart could close another red candle, though, tonight. So that would be 2 red candles in a row. Not bullish. And then here's the 3-day, the daily, which is bouncing right now. So let's take a look. I don't need this. And I hope you watch my macro technical analysis video. That will give you a lot of insight as to where we're going in the next few weeks. Kind of help you prepare a little bit for a bigger trade. So the daily looks interesting to me. I just feel like it has to connect to this 21, but it's looking nice. There's a chance that it's using this as a bounce period, and it's going to consolidate into a flag. Like it bounces up here, consolidates, pulls the 21 towards it. I'm already seeing the next measured move on the daily. That suggests you go to 136,000, lower point 131, but above 130K. So I'm looking for 130K as our next big point to kind of attack here as we stay well above 109, right? We just forced our way out. You can see there's daily support right there at about, 111.7. We look at Bookmap, and it's still got that big red bar at 115,000. It has not let go, but now there's more liquidity kind of beginning to build above us too, though. And there's a red bar there at 121.5. So the battle for 121 or 115 is on. It could go either way. We'll let the TA call our name here. But there is liquidity a little more to the downside on this Sunday morning. And then we look at BTC here, and we can see, it's looking like a flag. Can we get the bounce? So now let's zoom into the 4 and see how the 8-hour 22, always kind of double check those. Stochastics are low. There seems to be kind of a hidden bullish divergence. There was one on the 8-hour, right? We saw that this moved up, but this moved down. And it suggested that you could get in here and that there would be, with a liquidation about below 110, and you're going to win. That's what hidden bullish divergence says. It says you can put your liquidation below the previous low, and you're going to win the trade. I'm not telling you that's guaranteed. I'm just saying that's what the probability tells you. And if you use it, you'll see that it does play out more than it does not. So we're watching this very strange, to me, symmetrical triangle, which is I don't know, a bit weird. Almost a bit of a diamond pattern too, right? That came in from the bottom. You know, it has some type of diamond vibes there. You came in from the bottom, do you break down? So almost looks like an M with a lower. You know, it's not perfect by any means. And price action is a bit funky right now on the smaller time frames. I wish it was a little clearer to read. Well, that's just why I do what I do. I make clarity out of things that don't make sense. So then we look here at the 4 hour. Now, what's interesting about the 4 hour and what I've learned in my lifetime is when a bearish pattern doesn't play out, it's a bullish sign. So shoulder, head, right shoulder. Remember last night I said they're going to fake everyone out, make them long, and then probably rip this price up here because now you got a bunch of stops right here. Bots took this head and shoulder. People took the head and shoulder. A lot of people believe that's a great place to short. And lately they've been kind of doing it out. I also see the stochastics wanting to curve up on the 4 hour time frame. Stochastics RSI will teach you from doing the wrong thing. Like if I want a long and they're curving down, pointing down, it's usually not the best time to long, right? So it kind of makes me hesitate. Then I look for a better entry. Stochastics can really save your behind there in those situations. 4 hour looks good to me. 1 hour, okay, not so much, but in between, it could pump or dump the where it's at right here. And then the 1 hour, basically in this tiny little flag, in my humble opinion, slightly breaking out of a little flag here. And bring me to the 15. Are we above the 200 moving average on the 15? Attempting. So if we get the model later on today, which is the 15 touching the 21 above the 200, chance that we can actually, even though it's slow volume Sunday, that we might get a little pump. Remember, people made money on altcoins last night. What do they do with them? They buy Bitcoin. This is what's happening now. Bitcoin will slow down. Altcoins will pump. People will take profits off of altcoins. They will not go into Tether. They're going to believe that putting money into Bitcoin is a better idea. They're going to keep playing the game until the musical chairs stop. So they're going to keep getting it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So the money will rotate back into Bitcoin. And this is what we want. This is the cycle we're looking for. This is why when alts won't dip anymore every time Bitcoin dips a little bit or goes sideways. Because so Bitcoin will pump hard. The money will flow out of Bitcoin into altcoins when it's at a high overbought area. The altcoins will pump. When Bitcoin goes sideways, that money will flow back into Bitcoin. Bitcoin will pump, right? And so on and so forth. And that's a bull run. Cycled liquidity. Getting moved through Bitcoin back into the altcoins, back into Bitcoin, right? And eventually ending where? In Bitcoin. The key for most traders, the smartest, I believe the most efficient trader, unless you have some other crazy way of making money off of money, which is fine. But right now, the most efficient trader should be focused on how much more Bitcoin can I own by the end of 2025. I own this much today. By the end of 2025, I'd like to have this much, right? Thank you for uplifting all of us. God bless you, everyone. And I hope, let's start the day, too, with a prayer. I didn't do that. Dear Lord, thank you for everything in which you've given us. Thank you for my kids. Thank you for everyone in my trading group. Thank you for everyone that comes to the channel and subscribes and supports. Blessings. So God bless everyone out here. God bless this beautiful life. Thank you for waking up this morning. Thank you for the use of my legs that I walked to the bathroom. I'm blessed. And I know today's going to be a blessing. I'm going to make sure it is. I'm going to go after the good things in life. I'm going to focus on being positive and energetic and that's the plan for today. So no matter what, I don't see how today will go bad because we're going to make sure it's going to go well, right, everyone? We're going to be nice to others. We're going to actually put more effort into life than everyone around us, and it's going to feel good. You know, we're going to smile at that person at the local bakery. If you see someone wearing a nice hat, I like that hat, nice hat. Just say it just to be nice, even if you don't, you know. But whenever I see someone out there looking for that attention, that compliment, send it their way, man. Make them feel good. It will make you feel good. It actually creates endorphins and does something for your health if you believe it. So what's the difference between a flag, a pennant, and a symmetrical triangle? I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. Yeah, just, it's pretty simple. A bull pennant is very tight, like a pennant, right? It looks beautiful. It's narrow. It's looking good. A symmetrical triangle is chubby. It's wide. It has a big range that eventually gets into a tighter range. This is a tight range that just gets somewhat more tight, okay? And then flags, like we call them flags, they'll be like kind of more falling wedges, but we'll call that a bull flag. Then we have bullish rectangles. Price just goes up and down inside the triangle, the rectangle, and then the bull pennant. Make sense? And then we have the ascending triangle with the flat top. right? That one has the flat top with the uptrending bottom. They tend to break out more in bullish times, but they are 50-50. They can go either way, right? These are the most bullish patterns, these three here. This one is mainly dumps a lot, to be honest. It's 50-50, but I see it dump. And this one can dump, but when we're bullish, like 70% of the time, you're going to get a move. All right? I hope that explains it somewhat for you. And you just got to keep showing up every day, and it will all make sense. You know, you're like in a jungle, and you want to know all the poisonous leaves, but you haven't lived in the jungle long enough to know that. So just keep showing up, keep looking at the leaves. You're going to start understanding, and soon you're going to know everything about the jungle. Understand? Yeah. God bless you, Nikki. Thank you for your question. I hope that does some. It wasn't perfect. I know it wasn't perfect, but that will give you some clear insight. You know, I can actually hook you up again. Take a screenshot, all right, when I show this. This will be for you. Let's take a look here. So here's the pattern sheet, all right, that I give to the group. I think it might also be in, and you can see kind of the differences between the symmetrical triangle, which is big and wide, and the bull pennant, which is nice and tight, the bullish rectangle, the falling wedge. These are continuation patterns. Price goes in, continuates to the upside, and vice versa. Take a screenshot of this. You know, I'll even post it to the group right now so everybody has access, okay? All right, portfolio-wise, what have I done in the last few weeks? Mainly bought a bunch more SEI, like turned myself into a bit of an SEI whale here. Whaled into SEI pretty heavily. And but let's take a look. I mean, look at the account today, up 14,000, right? We're moving. The equity trend is flying, right? Everything is kind of going our way. I keep tethered to swing trade. I stack Bitcoin like you wouldn't believe. I stacked SEI like you wouldn't believe. I got 56,000 now. I got Mexi token. It just goes up because they do a good job, and it's like a pretty much almost like a stable coin in a way, and you get a lot of less fees off the more you have. So Ondo doing damage, Deep Book doing damage, Hyperliquid still sitting there. I put about 18K, 18 and a half. It's up, but it slowed down for a little bit when we had that big momentum move. When the rest of the coins, it almost seems like people sold Hyper to buy little coins, right? Near, I'm still holding. Render, I'm still holding. Big bag. Sui, still holding. I have another bag of Sui somewhere else too. Okay. Doge. And someone said, why don't you have the hide small balances and simplified list? Someone's like, yeah, enable the simplified list. There you go. He's like, why don't you have the simplified list? I don't get it. You know? I still got a big bag of Doge. FET. TARS AI struggling. Put like $8,000 in there. It hasn't done anything. So that's been kind of a dud, sad to say, even though there's been other money in the market. Still hold that. Still hold Virtual, Wild. Still hold some Ethereum. Naka. I hold way more Ethereum too, other places. Arkham, BitTensor, Tau. And yeah, so I bought more Bitcoin, 104. Even bought some Bitcoin, 112, 110. 108 was a last big area, right? XRP doing damage. Jasmy, I still hold. XCN, I still hold. We added that. Goldfinch, BMX. Me token ripped pretty nicely. It actually doubled up. I put $1,200, turned into $2,400, right? Let's see if we can keep doing stuff like that. DGen, ADA, Cardano, Sol, right? So I bought some Me token. I put $50,000 in SEI. I bought more Bitcoin, right? And then I also bought DJI 6930. I figured if I didn't have this thing, I was going to miss out on one of the biggest pumps ever, and I was correct. So looks like it's about to moon right now and continue. Ethereum, DeFi, booming. And the news all week was Ethereum. More money flowing into Ethereum, right? ETFs. Big money flowing into ETH. So that told you DeFi was waking up. Then you have to start looking around for what's going on in DeFi. Look, Bitcoin is technically flagging out above the 1 minute 200 moving average, touching the 21 day. So right here, this could be a nice little flag to the upside for sure. That could give us a beautiful pump. Maybe it makes a right shoulder, but I'm bullish. I mean, 21 touching above the 200 moving average. Looks really nice on the 3 minute, right? With the cross there too. So I'm a little more bullish today. Looks like Bitcoin may get a little bump. Nothing huge. I don't think it wants to take too much light away from the altcoins, but we could get a nice pump today for Bitcoin, right? So I'm a little more bullish for Bitcoin than bearish. Feel like we're attempting to break out of this. We're right at resistance on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, and I'd watch the 5 right now. I'd watch this, or even though I'd watch the 1 minute flag right now. See if that thing can break out, start the day. Get above that resistance at 118, 192. Remember, not too keen on going crazy on Bitcoin on the weekends. And shout out to anyone that traded on Bitfinex last week. Appreciate that. Shout out to anyone that trades on BTCC. Still got the NASDAQ trade open. It ended up closing really flat. Basically, where, we got a pump. It actually was in the profit, but it closed flat. So we're going to kind of track you on that basically tonight and tomorrow morning. And that's basically kind of the weekly screen share in a bit of a nutshell, right? Staying focused. We did a lot of leverage trading. Bitcoin's been pumping. And again, I this is what I don't, what stresses me, or not stressing me, but what I'm always watching for, and I know could happen, is people get too into leverage trading and they don't focus on the DJ 96930s. Like, they miss out on these massive moves. And you got to learn. People that leverage trade never knew about the altcoin world. They just leverage. They're so into it. They could do it for 5, 6, 7 years, And then there's guys in the altcoin world making 100Xs, 50Xs. And I do both, And I have a keen sense of like keeping my hand in both pots here and not getting too overwhelmed at one. You get so into leverage trading, then you miss a 50X. It's not that easy to 50X in leverage trading as it is. I mean, it's not easy at all. Both of these aren't easy. But my point is, I know someone that at the end of this rally is going to kind of make or lose money leverage trading, and they're not going to own any coins. They're not going to end up with more Bitcoin. The idea is to find these 50, 60Xs, 10X your money, 20X your money, right? Move a good portion of that into BTC, stash it, and rinse and repeat. End the cycle with more Bitcoin than you had. Be a happy person. 10 years from now, have actually life-changing wealth for your family, and look 10 years ahead. And if you're doing that, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, nothing I say and do shit, but I look 10 years ahead now. That is a luxury. Once you get out of the rat race, you start looking a few years ahead, then 2 years, then 3 years. And eventually, when you really step forward and you have enough money, you can look 10 years ahead. How do I plan for 10 years from now? Where do I start investing now? Like me, for instance, I bought an Airbnb that's going to produce, and to share with you guys, I bought a house in May. I Airbnb it now. It's on Airbnb. I don't want to disclose it just yet because, people will probably be able to see where, I don't know, it makes me a little nervous with security and stuff. But, and that thing's been, we put it out like a week or two ago. We got all the pictures done. We got it on Airbnb. We signed all the documents, and bang, I grossed my first rental, $17,000 for 10 days. It's a high of this. I bought the house in a very high-end luxury rental vacation area. And I planned all this out, right? Made trading money, made good business money, moved that money into real estate in a cash-producing asset, something that's going to keep paying me for years to come, pay itself off and continue. This house actually pays its mortgage and more, right? With just a few months, 3 months a year rented, and it can pay for everything, which is amazing, right? We just got another booking last night, $14,000 for 7 days. $22,000 a night. And to break down, and again, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying I never thought in my life I'd be anywhere where I am right now. You know what I'm saying? But I kept my head down. I kept grinding. I didn't go out drinking. I didn't hang out with losers. You know what I mean? I focused, man. I read about winners. I researched millionaires, billionaires, people in real estate. I signed up for a call for $500 with Ben Mala, and I sat with him. He's a real estate guy. Like, I go after people that are in a higher place than me. I respect that I'm not where I need to be. I know I'm not a know-it-all. See, I see a lot of people. This is a flaw. And again, I have flaws too. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect, but I am very, very observant, and I see things. And one thing I do see a lot is I see someone who's like financially, I see someone who's not making as much money, and I'm not even trying to compare myself to me, but just I can tell they're struggling. And I can see how they could help themselves, but they think they know it all. And so the know-it-all mentality is like, oh, I get it. I know it all. So it blocks you from learning and progressing. Because if you know it all, what the heck do you have to learn? Nothing. You know it all, right? So back to the beginner's mind. We really focus on beginner's mind here on the channel. My friend made that album, Beginner's Mind. I said, why? He said, well, because it's a beginner's mind, man. If you keep a beginner's mind, you're always going to be able to keep learning. If you tell yourself you're a master, like, why do you have to learn anything else? You've got it all, right? So we keep the beginner's mind. We tell ourselves that we're not know-it-alls. There's people who are know-it-alls in a lot of things. They know it all. How come, if they know it all, how come they only make 50 grand a year? You know what I'm saying? If they know it all, how come they're still struggling? Everyone here knows a know-it-all, but their car's got a tail light out. You know what I mean? Like, actions speak louder than words, man. And so my whole point is to stay extremely humble. The humbler you are, the wealthier you become. The more you're a know-it-all, you know it all, you're smart, you're pompous, it's actually detriment to your wallet. I've been a know-it-all before. I was pretty broke. Now I'm an open-minded, beginner's-minded person, and everything is flowing right towards me. High energy, high frequency, high gratitude. So it's just, and you will pull, I can't explain how it happens. Once you change your mindset, once you change the way you move, you will pull wealth into your life. It just will happen. I can't explain it. I can't, but it'll start to follow you. You won't chase it like you used to. You are the, and I say this to everyone. When I say this one line, it's like I'm giving you guys the key to the universe, but people don't realize how simple the formulas are. See, everyone always gave us all the formulas, but we couldn't see them because we thought they were far more complex. If someone gives you 2 + 2 is 4, but you think it's a really complex, and you get, you'll miss how to get the answer. The key is to equalize in this world, to find the answer in the most concise and simple way possible, right? What's the answer to life? To be healthy. How do you be healthy? You have to have a clear mind, right? If your mind is scattered and you're worried and full of anxiety, are you healthy? Probably not. You might eat, you might be doing certain things to calm that anxiety, right? So health does come from the mind, and then it spans out into the body. So we need to do things to keep the mind healthy. Healthy in trading, health, in all facets of life. So working out every day is part of becoming a great trader. Having, and not just working out, but having some type of routine where you set aside a time to push your body physically, where it stirs some type of adrenaline in your life, makes you feel like you've accomplished something when that workout is over. If it's a light workout and I call it huff and puffers, people that just, they work out, but they don't really work out. They never hit a high point. They never really challenge themselves. Yeah, you worked out. You got some blood flowing, and it's better than nothing. I'm not trying to, but man, if you can challenge yourself every morning in a high-intensity workout, some type of HIIT workout, something like the ones I post, the ones that, it'll change you. It changed me forever. It made me more militant in a way, with my own life, far more disciplined. I understand, get down and give me 20. The push-up idea, I just get it all. It makes sense to me. This looks like it could consolidate and continue to pump, just kind of showing you guys some love there. DJI 6930. And then we also talked about, new coins that we want to be focused on. Look, Conflux is up, paying attention there too. That looks like a head and shoulder. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, right? Looks like it's going to break down. I wouldn't trade Bitcoin today. I just want to make that clear. Leave it alone till tonight. And then, Monday night is really where I hone in. And I got to tell myself that too. Fear and greed moving, 72, getting pretty high. When it gets to 89, usually it's the end of a bigger cycle, and it's going to take a few more months to kind of reset. So once we get back into here, 89, 90, it's probably going to be a good time to look at paying the trader. 3D Pass was on my radar yesterday. What I want to do too is I like to look at this and then go to CoinMarketCap and see if it's there too as well. 3D Pass. Wow, tiny market cap, right? So this market cap's basically where DJI 6930 is. But see how much a meme can rip more than a real coin? Because a meme doesn't have to have use case. It doesn't have to hit milestones. All right, the Ledger of Things is a revolutionary open source layer 1 blockchain platform for tokenization of objects. Current list of object categories is presented as follows. 3D objects, 2D drawings, music, biometrics, radio signals, movements, text, proof of scan is decentralized protocol, which is based on recognition technology. Every object transformed by 3D pass obtains its own unique and sustainable identity called a hash ID. The object could be recognized by. This will prevent the copying of the digital assets and thus open a door for the entire blockchain space to potentially trillions in deals all over the globe. Interesting. 3D pass. Fascinating blend of blockchain innovation and advanced object recognition. At its core, 3D pass operates on a layer 1 decentralized blockchain platform. See, blockchain is the answer, and things can move fast with blockchain. So anything that's more innovative and fast is going to become a coin. Understand? Like, this is how it's going to happen. Oh, big move. Alpaca Finance, Kyber Network, a lot of DeFi starting to rev up here. I wouldn't be surprised if Cake's getting back in the mix too as well. Come on, Bitcoin. Above the 200. That is what's called a bullish rectangle now. Nice, good example of that. Let's see. Stochastics with the bullish divergence says we can pump. Looks like, actually, I have to say right now, these indicators say they're going to pump right now. Who knows? I'm only a guy that shows up every day, but that says it's going to pump right now. And let me jump into the chat. Also, the chat's, this is for you guys. Anything you want to know, anything you're kind of, looking at that you want to get in. I've been trading with the lifers every evening and weekend for about 3 months now. It's amazing, man. Everything you're saying, yeah. When I decided to give to help others, I began to receive 100%. That's the one thing I got over lifer, the workout. Everything else, lifer is boss. Amen. We learn every day until the day we die. Yep. Many thanks, lifer. Thank you. He says, no ICP and why? Yeah, I'm just not into it. Yeah. My instincts keep me away from it for whatever reason. Yeah. That's all. It's had a lot of ups and downs, man. You know what I mean? A lot of controversy. It's lower than most coins. It's not above its daily 200. It's been struggling. I don't know. If you like it, go for it. But to me, it's got too many red flags. Right? There's just like Sui and Deepbook are just such better plays. It's like, why would I put money in? And again, maybe I'll eat my words and this thing will become one of the biggest coins ever in the history of coins. And I have no idea what I'm talking about, But, I'm a speculator or investor. So sometimes I speculate in the right place, sometimes the wrong place, but mostly it's right. I've been trading for 12 years and Sam taught me so much more and made me see things and systems in a different light. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say. Been trading 12 years. Like, that's amazing. I would love to tweet that, please. Come learn, right? Thank you so much, man. I've been trading for 12 years. Like, just listen to what everyone else says, not what I say. Actions speak louder than words, right? Listen to what has happened to the people that have listened. That's all. And we'll continue to post altcoins throughout the day and things that I see that are probably going to pump. But we did good in our first week of like a new kind of alt season. I found a 91X coin that I got in a little later than I should have. Hesitated that night. Dang it. That's what happens, right? But hey, the next one could be around the corner, and we keep looking every single day, right? So that's kind of the deep dive. I like this. Chainbase keeps coming up, $41 million market cap. 3D Pass comes up, and there was that other one with a 3 in it. It was like P31 or something. Watch my live stream from yesterday. We went over it on the live. There it is, turn. T3. Tiny market cap. Wow, the chart looks horrible. Well, MXC does investing too. Look at that. TRN. Universal Execution Protocol for Web3, enabling smart contracts to call and compose across multiple blockchains atomically. You want to say automatically, but no, atomically. Every step either succeeds or The entire transaction is rolled back automatically. Unlike bridges or messaging systems, Turn delivers native programmable cross-chain execution without wrapping, trust assumptions, or partial failures. A decentralized network of executors and AI executors competes to fulfill the user-defined intents, optimizing cost, speed, and reliability. This unlocks true composability. See, what is composability? You're going to hear this. Well, to compose something is put many things together, right? To compose music. Composability is when you can put multiple blockchains together and they can work together, right? So when you see the word compose, composability, composable, they're talking about multi-chain applications being able to spread across multi-chains without, seamlessly, right? And basically composing, if all the different instruments were all the different blockchains and you compose a symphony, then you're composing the transaction, but the transaction can occur basically wherever it needs throughout. Eventually, we're going to have a seamless multi-chain system that crosses all chains together through a bridge of speed, and we're moving forward really to conceptualize your mind around the future of blockchain and technology is really how we can make our money. So like I start to build in my mind, I close my eyes, I start to 3D picture like what we're doing and where we're going. That's not easy to do. I have to spend a lot of my days meditating on actually where we're going. When I'm sitting in the yard, my kids, and they have a moment on the swing and I'm sitting in my head, I'm like, all right, what's the next hot move? Like, where should money be flowing? Why? Right? I see energy. I see space. I see crypto. Anti-gravity comes to mind. A bunch of different stuff flows through my head. Hydrogen, fuel cells, stuff like, and I start, brainstorming. Just like I did before. I didn't know crypto was going to be huge. I looked at the financial system. I saw this little thing, Bitcoin, crypto, and I sat there meditating. And I let my mind go. And I just, the thing is, I used to thought that was me just basically high and dreaming a lot. But I didn't realize my mind was really keen on what was happening in the future, and I was honed in. I had intuition. Intuition is hard to recognize when you first use it because you might think it's pompous. People might actually think that you're full of yourself. Like say I saw a few things early, right? By the third time, people realized I was just a weird dude that could figure things out. But by the first few times, people thought I was pompous or, telling people what to do or something. Like I could see COVID was happening way before it. It made sense to me. They were going to migrate from China, like the whole thing. And I told everyone to be careful. It's coming. They're going to shut down your games. They're going to shut down, and people didn't believe me. They thought I was absolutely insane. I went to a Super Bowl party with friends and told us that would be the last time we'd all be together like this because they're about to shut it down. And everyone thought I was nuts. I could see the shutdown, the masking. I could see it all happen beforehand. I said they're going to come out with the whole thing. I mean, I wasn't the only one. There's other people that were highly intuitive that could feel what was going on. But, again, I did it with Bitcoin. I did it with COVID. I did it multiple times. And so now I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it again. But what, how, when? I don't know how, but I have to trust my intuition. I trusted my intuition making the YouTube channel. I trusted my intuition with every single person I bring into my company. Anyone I hire, right? The reason why we're going where we're going with the trading group, because I'm trusting my intuition. As a CEO, I'm putting people in place to push this company forward, right? To make sure that everyone that subscribes is getting taken care of inside the trading group. To make sure they get a great Discord experience. To make sure we push out any, we do the best we can when it comes to security and reminders. I'm not DMing you, everybody. As I get bigger and more famous, more and more people impersonate me. They might even impersonate my voice. Who knows what they'll do, right? It's not me. I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting with you copy trading. I see a lot of people, get onto the copy trade list. I'm not taking funds from you. I'm not starting a fund. If anyone calls you, DMs you, does anything and says anything about anything but live streaming and teaching, it ain't me. All right? So I see a lot of people, they fall in love with the idea that I'm actually DMing them and they get a little excited and then it forces them to do something silly. Please, it pains me to hear that someone could impersonate me and that you could get hurt by it. So please pay attention, everyone out there. Spread the word to the group. I do not DM. I do not copy trade. I don't do anything like that. I post the charts. I do the live stream. Everything I mention online. If I did it, I would mention it online, right? Like I teach class the last Saturday of every month. So please stay. Some people are going to make a lot of money in this time, but some people are going to lose too. It's going to be new scams, new ways to take your money, right? So just be very, very careful with new wallets. Don't get a wallet from an untrusted source. Buy it from ledger.com. You see what I'm saying? Don't buy it off of TikTok. I don't know where these people are buying their ledgers that they're getting hacked with. But just be very, very careful out there, please. Don't lose your hard-earned money This is a serious game. People are gonna, are gonna go after your funds over time. So I just have to. That's part of what we're in right now. We gotta focus on that and realize that, we're gonna come. I want to leave with the money that I started with here. You know what I mean? One minute still in the flag, showing signs of a possible, and that's what's called a bullish rectangle. When you just keep going up and down inside the same flag, I mean, the odds are now high that this is going to break out, very high. Here's a 1 minute scalp right here on the channel. Like the stop loss would be somewhere there, below 118.100. The take profit would be at 118.5, right? And that would be it. Looks like it's going to break out. We're touching the 21 above the 200, but it is low volume Sunday. All right. Let me get back into the chat. Sam, can you go over how the two different indicators, the RSI, work? Yeah, for sure. So you have the RSI, you have the stochastics RSI. If you've ever ridden the train in Queens, I have. We have the E and the F train, right? The E starts here at Kew Gardens, all right? And it goes all the way and skips like 10 stops and goes to Queens Plaza. Hold on, bear with me here. Then it goes all the way, goes to 59th Street, okay? Then you have the F. I mean, and the F makes all these local stops, 64th Street, 63rd, blah, 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 Cypress, all the, 59th Street, then blah, blah, 63rd Street, blah, blah, blah. And so the F is similar to the stochastics RSI. It gives you multiple places to get in. But the E is more like the RSI. It just kind of goes up, hits a high point, comes down. While the RSI is moving up and down, the stochastic. So the RSI starts, right? Let's just say you have your dotted line on the RSI. You got your dotted line on the stochastics RSI. Okay. RSI comes up, slowly makes its move up, overbought, usually does a divergence. Bam, there's your divvy, right? You got to move down, even price is moving up, and then you break down. During this time, the stochastics is cycling and just giving you more opportunity to get into the trades. So the stochastic is better for short term and, but when they're both low and curving up, I mean, that's just, that's even better. So you can get a curve when the RSI is curving up and the stochastics are low. But the best trades are when they're both low, right? Because the probabilities are really good you're moving back up. I hope that explains them somewhat. But again, they take time to learn, right? And all you got to know is, dude, over time, just overbought, oversold. You go to the bigger time frames, the 12-hour, the daily, and you wait for the RSI to be below and the stochastics to be below. And if, like right here, that was your perfect buy. See that dump right there to 117.7? You were low on the RSI, low on the stochastic. It told you exactly what to do there. So when the stochastics and the RSI are both low, it's a good sign. Right here, we were low on the RSI, low on the stochastics. Right there. Here, we're low on the stochastics, but high in the RSI. See? AI infrastructure is high on my radar. GPL cooling systems, helium, the new form of energy. Yeah, we're going to cool computers faster, and then they're going to work better. They will say, like, follow the info about protecting your Discord and let you start talking about getting involved with it. So, hey, Sam, PA crossing the daily on the high stokes seem to be pump price. I know the model is wait for low stokes. Can you provide more information on that, please? Yeah, but high stochastics are momentum indicators. So when momentum's high, like, look, and you could backtest this yourself. See, a lot of the answers I figured out. The question you're at, and I'm not trying to be rude. This may sound rude. So bear with me if this comes off wrong. I don't know how else to say it, but the question you're asking, I was able to teach myself. See, that's the beautiful insight. And how I was able to teach this stuff myself. Well, I would go back in time and I would look at high stochastics, and you could see when the stochastics got high, that's when we actually get a pump. So like when we got high here on the daily, right? And it's kind of like in a balloon. Like in this market, you're blowing it up, it's letting the air up. You're blowing it up, and the balloon's not really expanding. Here, the balloon's expanding. I mean, each time you blow it up, the balloon can get bigger. And meaning when you get into this area, you're in what's called expansion stages. So right here, look, Also, this is where the RSI comes in. Stochastics RSI is high. RSI is in a flag. Price just got above the 21, right? Daily. That's why I play the 200 moving average on there too, because look, your high stochastic may have kept someone from getting in the trade. Oh, it's overbought, but it's pumping. So you use the 200 moving average. Using the moving averages is key, right? If you're confused by the stochastics RSI. But you can see that's when the most big pump happened, when we got above the dotted line, high momentum. So it doesn't mean, you want to see it starting to curve. When it curves and crosses, that's when you know and you'll get a bearish divergence at the same time. You understand, this is all very simple. You'll be getting into trades at bullish divergence. Look at this indicator, it gives you the green R, telling you there's a bullish divergence there. From here to here, this moves down, but the RSI did not. The RSI is flat or up. That tells you yeah? So that bounced back to the upside, 21 touching, you see what I'm saying? And so, you look for bullish div with low stochastic, low RSI, and then you get out at bearish divergence. Well, price is moving up, but the RSI is flat or not green, and the stochastics are high. That also has a bearish div in it, and we dump. And you get back into the bullish, and so on and so forth for Bitcoin, right? And this is kind of the idea here over and over again. If that makes sense. So like here, you're watching this, the stochastics do look like they're going to curve. They may curve halfway. If they can get below the dotted line and we can hit the 21, that's entry place. Just got to have patience with all these indicators. All right, nice. These questions are awesome. This is what I really wanted out of the weekly screen share. I wanted a lot of questions. I wanted people to be like, yeah, I have a moment to be with this guy who's been in the chart for 20 years. Let me utilize his knowledge with pinpoint, focus. Hi, Sam. PA crossing the daily on high Stokes seem to pump price. I know the model is wait for low Stokes. Can you provide? The model's not really wait for low Stokes. That's giving you the greatest entry possible with lowest risk. It doesn't mean you can't pump on high stochastics. The model provides the lowest risk entry, highest probability. But that doesn't make, just for instance, here's a great example. A quarterback, boom. He has 4 receivers. They're going to run routes, okay? Now, the touchdown is a high-risk pass across a quarterback, a middle linebacker, and a leading, right? Boom. Now, if he hits it, there's a huge reward there. But there's high risk because there's a lot of people. Now, this guy comes by and does the quick turnaround. That's the low-risk play right there. He may not get all the way, but it's like almost a guaranteed 3 to 4 yards, right? So here's the deal. Like some days you're going to trade touching the 21, low stochastics, perfect. And again, a lot of these do make home runs, so I don't want to downplay like it's always going to be a short pass. But this is lower risk. Now, when the stochastics are getting high and you still get in, that doesn't mean you're not going to win. It just means that the risk is getting higher, right? So because your question is almost like, I know the model says to only buy when the Stokes are low, and it doesn't really mean that. It means that the highest probability place is when they're low. But it doesn't mean that you can't make entries in other places. You just have to understand your risk. Every time you're using different probability, you're rising the risk. Understand? You're creating risk by where and when you get into trades. If you can use the 21 and low stochastics, you're going to remove a lot more risk than most people. I found that to be true. I can stand by that. And I my Sam Price, like my name can stand on that. I put so many years of back testing on that I would challenge anyone to tell me I'm wrong. Statistically, mathematically, data set wise, like I've locked it in. A computer would do the same math, and AI would come to the same conclusion. I'm almost positive of it. So yeah, I'm looking for this flag 2 or 3 more days in a pump, maybe even a pump tomorrow night, maybe even a pump today. You never know. It's close, but it's looking more bullish than bearish to me, and a target at $135,000 for Bitcoin. All right. Let's get back in. How do you spot divergences? I use the RSI. Stochastics are there, though. You can do it on both. You should almost see it on both. Yeah. Yeah, stick to Gronk. Exactly. Less risk with Gronk. 100%. Like you could go short, far, long to Danny Amendola. But Gronk's got bigger hands, higher. You know what I mean? It's Gronk. Same idea. Very similar idea. Yeah, you're spot on there. Yeah, you can find divergences on anything. There's divergences on the MACD. You know? You will find it. Like, look, price action is moving up. MACD's moving down. Isn't that a divergence? You know? It's like, you'll see it when we dumped. There's divergences. On everything. But the RSI to me is just the clearest form of divergence. It just looks better. Right? But you will see divergence on all of them because they're all following the cycle. The stochastics are just the quickest ones. See how they go up and down far quicker? Yeah. And that is, yeah. Do you set alarms on oscillators crossing? I do. Sometimes I set alarms on the 200 moving average. Like you can right-click this, add alert on the 50 MA, crossing, right? MA1. I know MA5 is my 200. How will you know this? Go to your 5 MA and look at the settings. Inputs. MA5 is 200. Style is yellow, right? So boom. So then on the 5 MA crossing, bang, send me alert, right? That's not obviously not going to happen anytime soon. But yes, and then I also like to put alerts here. On the stochastics, like I want to get in when they're low. They're not low yet. Wait for them to come down, reset, boom. 15 minutes been high, been pumping all day. Stochastics are curving down. It's likely they're going to reset. Set an alert down here. When it hits the alert, I don't have to stare at the screen all day. I come back. I start to reassess if the entry's looking proper, you know, and then we go from there. Still inside the flag for Bitcoin. Actually starting to look more like a triangle now that could do some damage. So consolidation is key. Stop loss below the 200 moving average. A pump to 118,570 looks likely here for Bitcoin. So starting to see this could pump. A lot of altcoin money coming in, flowing into altcoins today. And then you have to think, too, in other parts of the world, they open up their banks before us. So they start front-running us. It's kind of unfair. So they can buy Bitcoin before we can. I mean, our banks are closed, right? Or it's like, so it's like, man, like it'll be Monday morning soon in Dubai. And they'll be running around. When I was in Dubai, it was so weird to think sometimes that everyone was asleep in America and we were like running around. Like our day had already started. It was weird to be ahead of myself in the world. Like the whole world does things and then we do it? What? Like, I would think the Stokes are too aggressive with reactions depending on them for determining divergences. Feel like you get faked out at a high frequency. I don't know. It's up to you. This indicator spots them pretty nicely for you. You see? Stochastics RSI with divs. If you can add that, you go up here, and I just type in RSI, and then there it is right there. Stochastics RSI with divergences by neobutane. And there's the pump. Looks like Bitcoin's about to pump. I'm going to go live for this pump, guys. I'll see you guys. Is that cool? We're going to jump out of here for the screen share, and then I'll go live for this pump. God bless everybody. Thank you for being here. I'll see you on the live. My back is just killing me. Like my two muscles in my back, they need a break. And I'm pushing as much as I can. I don't want me to complain. But I felt like we did hit the information we needed. Possibly gave a long call for Bitcoin too, which looks beautiful. And yeah, went over a bunch of different coins, showed you how to find them. And then we're going to continue to do what we do every single day with these altcoins. Stay blessed, everybody. I'll see you in like about 10 minutes on the live stream. Yeah, Sunday night. I just checked. It's 11 p.m. in Tokyo. It's crazy. I don't have back pain like people have in the lower end. It's really muscle. I shouldn't say it's back pain. It's muscles. My shoulder muscles have contracted to the point of they're like pulling on my back and they hurt. So it's not really. It is back pain, but it's muscle pain. I got 2 massages on Thursday afternoon, and they're super expensive here because it's like just they gouge you. I'm not even going to tell you how much it was an hour. And I had to. I was in so much pain. I could barely move. I can move, but, you know, like I could feel tightness underneath I had that one muscle that was like underneath my shoulder blade, you know. So That was awesome. First time here. Yeah, and the weekly screen share is about mentality, about discipline. Yeah. Someone said, I thought this was the live. I know, funny. No, this is just private for just the people in the inside the